up, world? Established rich coming right back at you. And this right here, this ain't easy for me to say because I never thought I would be saying these words. I grew up on hip-hop. Hip-hop raised me. Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, Kid and Play, the Fat Boys, LL Cool J. And back then, it felt different. It felt like fun. It felt like freedom. It felt like expression. Dancing, laughing, telling stories. And somewhere along the way, all that changed. Not overnight, but gradually. Intentionally, or maybe just naturally. But it changed.
Companies we work for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. Mm-hmm. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. Mm-hmm. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house.
Now, I heard the stories about the so-called meetings in the 90s and about the plan to destroy hip-hop. People saying label executives sat down and decided to push violence, to push negativity. And I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is this. Something did shift because all of a sudden the music started sounding different. The message started changing. The energy started changing. And more importantly, the reward started changing. Young black men started getting rewarded for playing a certain role.
They say it's the CIA, but we don't know who it is. But it became a mind-controlling tool for gangster imagery. Because all it gave us for 2 decades was gangsterism. Starting with us as kids, seeing men rapping behind prison bars in prison suits. Express yourself, I'm expressing, nigga, behind bars.
You ain't lying.
Then Tupac started doing it. Then from bars, they started gradually giving us the chalk outline of the dead bodies in the video. The niggas just laying on the chalk. Then they started putting the yellow tapes. They started giving us this, nigga. Nigga, we went through a gangster era. A gangster exploitation era where they exploited gangsterism to children. Not Disney, not Nickelodeon, not Sesame Street.
Hip-hop.
Hip-hop. Gangsters. Not hip-hop, gangster rap.
Sometimes it was real, sometimes it wasn't. But it didn't even matter because the image became the product and the product started selling. And when something sells, the industry doubles down on it. Now all of a sudden, the message is consistent. Drugs, violence, killing your own people, and disrespecting women. And not only is it present, it's celebrated, it's rewarded, it's promoted. And this is where it gets personal for me because I can't sit here and act like I wasn't a part of it. I rapped about it, I lived it, selling drugs, hurting my own community, bragging about killing other brothers and calling it music. And the crazy part is, people loved it. They felt it. They connected with it. And so did I. And that's when something hit me. When you can listen to negativity and it gives you the chills, when you can hear violence and it makes you feel good, something is wrong. Not just with the music, but with us. Now let me take it a step further. It's not just the music. It's the lifestyle that comes with it. The marketing, the images, the commercials. Y'all remember St. Ives commercials? Old English commercials? Everybody smiling, everybody turned up. But what was it really doing? What was it really promoting? And now, fast forward, every rapper got a liquor brand. And who they selling it to? Us. Now, I'm not saying everything is bad, but I am saying we got to pay attention. Because when you step back and really look at it, you start asking questions like, why is negativity so profitable? Why is destruction so marketable? Why does doing wrong get rewarded more than doing right? And that question leads to a hard truth. We've been conditioned to celebrate the very things that are killing us. And I know this might sound like an old man talking. I know some people gonna say, you just don't get it no more. But that ain't it. I get it too well. Because when you've been inside of it, you see it different. You feel it different. And now I got a daughter. And that changes everything. Because now I'm looking at this culture through a different lens. And I'm asking myself, do I want her to grow up in that? Do I want her to aspire to be one of these female rappers? And that answer don't come easy. Because when I look at the female side of hip hop, it's not much better. It's still sexualized. It's still degrading. It's still pushing an image that I wouldn't want for my child. And believe me, that hurts to say because this culture has given me so much. But now I'm questioning what is taken away. Now here's where it gets deep. People always say entertainers sell their soul. And for years, I could not understand why people would say that. I thought it was just talk, just a saying. But now I've gotten to the point where I think I understand because it's not about a contract with the devil. It's about a trade. You trade your influence for success. You trade your message for money. You trade your responsibility for relevance. And after a while, you stop caring. You stop thinking about who you influencing, who's listening, who's following. You just keep making what works, even if it's wrong, even if it's destructive. And that's the part that's been sitting with me. Why would we continue to push something that's keeping us stuck? Why would we celebrate what's killing us? Why would we participate in our own destruction? And that question is what led me here, to this conversation, to this moment. And I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I was hesitant to even make this video because this is deep to me. This is uncomfortable, but it's real. And if we don't talk about it, we just gonna keep repeating it. But the real question everybody keeps asking is, whose fault is it? Is it the labels? Is it the artists? Is it the audience? Or is it all of us? Now let's stop running from that because it's too easy to point fingers and harder to look in the mirror. Yes, the industry plays a role. They see what sells and they push more of it. They package it, they market it, they turn pain into profit. But here's the part we don't like to say. They can't sell it if we don't buy it. They can't promote it if we don't support it. And that's where accountability comes in. Because every stream is a vote. Every view is a decision. Every song we repeat is us saying we like it. Now think about that. We say we tired of the violence, but we play it all day. We say we want better, but we reward worse. And that's a contradiction. And that's what keeps this going. Now let's talk about the artists. Because I ain't letting them off the hook either. You know what you doing. You know what you pushing. And at some point, you got to ask yourself, what am I contributing? Not just to my bank account, but to my people. Because influence is power. And power comes with responsibility. But what we've seen is people choosing profit over purpose again and again. And I get it. You come from nothing, you finally make it, and you ain't trying to go back. I understand that. But at what cost? At what point do you say that ain't right? Or do you ever say it at all? Now let's talk about the youth. Because they are watching all of this. They listening, they learning. And whether you like it or not, they modeling what they see. They think this is normal. They think this is success. They think this is what it means to be somebody. And that's dangerous because now you got a whole new generation trying to live a life that was never meant for them, trying to be somebody that they don't even fully understand. Now let's go even deeper. This isn't just cultural. This is spiritual because when you constantly feed your mind negativity, destruction, hate, it does something to you. It shapes you. It changes you. It pulls you away from growth, from purpose, from peace. And that's what I meant when I said it's a spiritual dungeon. Because you can be free physically and still be trapped mentally, still be trapped spiritually. And a lot of people don't even realize they already in the dungeon. Now here's the part that's hard to hear. Not everybody wants to get out. Some people are comfortable in that space. Some people enjoy it. Some people defend it. And when you challenge it, they push back. They call you old. They call you out of touch. But the truth is, they just not ready. Listen, this ain't about canceling hip hop. This is not about turning our back on the culture. This is about separation. What hip hop was from what it's been turned into. Because those are two different things. Hip hop at its core is expression. It's storytelling. It's truth. But what we see today is a marketed version, a controlled version. And if you don't recognize that, you get lost in it. Now here's the most important part. We have a choice every day in what we support and what we promote and what we allow into our minds. And if we really want change, it starts there. Not with them, but with us. Now for me personally, I had to make that shift. I had to change what I put out, what I stand for, what I represent. Because I can't sit here and know better and keep making the same decisions. And that goes for all of us. And I'm gonna land it like this. Hip hop did not destroy us, but what we allowed it to become is what's hurting us. And until we face that, nothing changes. Not the music, not the message, not the outcome. But if we do face it, if we do take control, If we do demand better, then maybe, just maybe, we can get back to what made it great. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.